Good morning, folks. Something a little different today. It's Saturday morning, and I don't usually work Saturdays, but we have a boat going on being trailered out a few thousand kilometers away, so got to do a quick inspection on the trailer and maybe pack some bearings and whatnot. So I figured I'd bring you along. I haven't made a video in a while, and this is kind of what pays for the road trips and whatever. So show you what I do here. So we build barges, and trailers as well. There's a couple of barges there that we built throughout the summer months. Here's a trailer I built for, I think for a cap boat or a large commercial pontoon boat. So there's a bit of everything here. So that's the bottom of one section of barge. You can see that it's on its side, so we can get that center seam welded. But so that would lay flat. It's 40 feet by 8 feet wide. 4 sections make a full platform. Smash it in here. I don't really normally come in here on a weekend to do this, but it's going away and this hasn't been checked, and yeah, so we can't let her go like that. And I'm sure they're both the same. You know, these aren't like a regular trailer that gets launched, or a regular boat that gets launched once or twice a year, even a dozen times a year. Oh, one-handed here. These go in and out of the water several times a day, sometimes several times a week, and in we're cleaning that. Anyways, so we'll clean these bearings up and repack them. We even got water dripping out of there. Like, yeah, we're changing that for sure. If the bearings look okay, we'll just repack them and clean them up and put them back in. If they look rusty or crusty, then we'll just change them. So, living the dream. I find usually the end of the axle gets pitted and then starts to eat away at where the seal sits, and then chews the seal apart and then lets all the water in. So bearings don't necessarily need to be changed all the time. Just before the water does any damage, I have to clean them out and repack them. Bringing one of these boats and trailers home can get really expensive, so preventative maintenance, I guess, that's what it's all about. Alright, I guess we'll get some bearings cleaned up. Interesting challenge here. No tripod. Left that at home, of course. Wasn't planning on filming. Wheel bearings, grease, while holding a cell phone. This ain't no bearded van adventure, that's for sure. But some guys like to watch this kind of stuff, I guess. So here's to you guys on Saturday morning, September 17th. This is Beard's birthday. The beardless one. Happy birthday, honey. Hope you're comfy in bed without me. Oh well. It's all good. Yes, we do lots of fabricating. Like, this is something I put together in the last couple of weeks. They're power packs for running hydraulics. The company that we've sort of merged with does marine construction, so we're building their boats and we're building anything they need fabricated, but makes it a little different. We do different stuff, and I like boats, I like marine stuff, so it worked out pretty good. And now I'm sort of getting into I have some experience with fleet maintenance and mechanical stuff, so I'm getting into that as well, which is nice because I've been fabricating for quite a long time now, over 10 years anyways, and I like to diversify a little bit, change things up, keeps it interesting, and so this kind of stuff doesn't bug me. I mean, I do this for fun anyways at home. You guys have seen a lot of my videos. Oh, sorry about the finger in the footage there, guys. This kind of stuff for fun anyway, so why not get paid for it, I guess. So that bearing's in good shape. So it was we probably changed this bearing not long ago. It just, the seal was crap, and so we'll clean that up and repack it and stick it back in there, and it'll be good to go. I'll jam another seal in there, and maybe we'll clean up the axle where the seal rides to make sure it seals. It's not horrible, but we'll pass the wire wheel on there. Clean all this stuff up too, I guess. So yeah, we have a nice big shop now. It's much bigger than what we had before. Not much has changed. We've always done work for these guys. Now we just do, it's mostly for these guys. The odd customer we're looking after still. But these guys keep us busy enough that we don't need to go looking for work, that's for sure. Of course, everybody's pretty busy nowadays after the world has shut down for this deadly virus. Now we're getting back up and at it, trying to recover. Some of us easier than others. Anyways, I'll clean these up. Give them a packing. It's kind of a boring video, but I figured I'm here, I'm by myself. I may as well show you a little bit about what's going on here. Actually, I can show you something that's kind of neat too. Those barges I showed you there out in the yard. This is kind of the very beginning stage right here. That's what it looks like. Just a couple of flat sheets, 8 foot by 40. It's 2 pieces. We weld them together right here at the seam. That's the very first step. And then we start standing frames up. We've got these frames here that we have made that are 4 by 8 long, and we stand those up, and then we start covering it over and weld, as some guys would say. There's probably, there would be kilometers worth of welding on that. So it's a long process, but basically it's mainly my business partner Joe that's assembling them. I'll build those frames and assemble some of the smaller parts of the barge while he puts the big thing together. He's done it since the beginning, so we've just carried on that way. And he's got a couple of young lads that can help him weld it together when he needs it. But it's mostly Joe that puts them together. Good job, Joe. Big job. I usually make the smaller parts and then help them with any other welding there is to be done. I kind of prefer that, small projects rather than a big one. It seems to be a little more different every day, so that's kind of like my thing. But alright, must put the phone down. Well, I'm not real sure why I'm filming a bearing packing video. It seems kind of, there's 1,000 of them out there, but anyways, I guess I'll show you how I pack a bearing. So we use a special kind of grease. It's like a premium green, extreme duty. It's synthetic. Anyways, it's very, very sticky, and it's a real pain in the ass to get it into the bearing. So you really got to use your weight and really push hard, especially for especially the big bearings, of course. A big bearing like this is a pain in the butt, but you just basically drop it in there, center that bad boy. You can fill your little packer with the grease gun through this nipple right here, or you can just take that plunger out of there and take a big scoop out of a tube and stick it in the bottom. That's what I did to begin it. To start the process, just put a big gob in the bottom. Just makes it quicker, but I've been using the grease gun to top it up from there. So anyways, you stick it in there. You put you gotta center it pretty well there. Then you use this guy here, you just stick it on top and you literally work that thing around like that. With these bearings, I actually put it on the ground and I put some weight on it, and it'll push the grease through the bearing. So I'm going to continue doing that for probably 10 minutes and I'll show you the outcome. So you can see that the grease is coming up around the edge there. It's coming up through the rollers. So you just keep working it. Usually with a little bearing, it doesn't take long. These ones take, 5 or 6 minutes of wiggling it around. But once it's come through everywhere, I just cover the bearing with grease, make sure the inside of it's full, and she's good to go. So there we go. That's what it looks like. It's one of these situations where if a little bit's good, a whole lot must be better. Anyways, that's what it is, and we're gonna do that 7 more times, so we won't be showing you all that. Anyways, so I took that generously packed bearing, put it in the rear bearing, that is the big one. I put it in the back, and then I tapped in a new seal with a wooden block over it and tapped the seal into place. So now the other bearing, the front bearing, is packed as well. The front bearing is packed and ready to go. So I'm first gonna put a whole bunch of grease inside the hub there, and then stick the hub back onto the spindle after I clean the spindle up. I take a bit of brake clean up the brakes and clean up this spindle. Take any crap off of there that might be picked up from the road and from the launches and stuff. Give it a good clean, and then if you have some emery cloth, you can run a little bit on here just to take the nicks off that will be eating up the seal if you're having problems with water getting in there. These are boat trailers, right? So I say water, and that's why. If you have a utility trailer, it won't have the same problem. You won't have that issue with water going in there. I mean, for the most part. So there we have it. The smaller bearings in there. Actually, you should put I like to put a little bit of grease. Extra grease. And I actually silicone. So you put a whole bunch in there. Prevents the water from going in. My theory. Well. And put your nut on there. Usually snug it up, and then make sure the bearing is seated right. And then I'll back it off a little bit so that there's no pressure pushing on the bearing. Somebody once told me a little loose is better than a little tight, so that's sort of what I go by. And then afterwards, I put the dust cap back on. I'll silicone it. I put some silicone around it, clean up the grease around that hub there, so silicone will actually stick. And then I'm going to snug that up a bit. Clean it up. Bit of silicone. Snap that cap on there. And we're golden. Should be good. Make sure you grease all your grease points that are underneath there, the shackles and whatever. Anyways, that's how I grease my bearings. I'm sure there's a bunch of different ways to do it. I'm no expert. I'm just showing you how I do it. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Quick little video. Saturday at work. Wife's birthday, so I'm gonna leave and very soon spend some time with her. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not, and we'll see you in the next one. Almost had to spit on that one. Well, that's it. She's ready to go. Ready to hit the road.